All right, now let's move on to our next presentation. Next up, CTV isn't just about reach. It's about understanding how, when, and where your ads are working. The next session deep dives into viewer behavior, ad quality, and measurement across India's streaming ecosystem. Please welcome Samir Karpe, Country Manager at DoubleVerify, to the stage. Can we have a huge round of applause for our next presentation?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. One thing is clear from all the discussions that have happened before me, that CTV is gaining relevance, not only in terms of audiences, consumers, but also in advertisers. What I'm going to explore today is outcome of a research that we did with Sapio, and I'll talk about the methodology in a bit and what were the questions asked. But the outcomes of it, what consumers are feeling about it, how advertisers are adapting towards the newer challenges that they are seeing, and what are the challenges that they want us to solve to unleash the overall potential of a connected TV ecosystem. But before we deep dive into that, what I want to talk about is how we at DoubleVerify look at innovation. We are building a stack today that allows you to not only verify, which has been our core, assigning a media quality, assigning a baseline of media quality. And when I say media quality, it is essentially an impression that is non-fraudulent, served in a brand safe or a brand suitable environment in the geography of your choice, and has an option for somebody to see it, which is viewability. You add attention and contextual to it, you're refining the media quality that you're buying. But these are a lot of signals, and what you need to deal with these many signals is dynamic optimization. No more can you do a human-based optimization, because it's just millions and billions of variables depending on what size of the advertisers that you're working with. That is the kind of data that you need to work with, and it requires speed to respond to it, otherwise there is a lot of media wastage. In 2023, we acquired Sybase, which is again a global leader in artificial intelligence for programmatic, which allows you to do impression scoring, and based on what variables are likely to convert that particular impression for you, it creates a bidding strategy and informs the DSP of your choice. So that was this first round of acquisition that we did in terms of building that dynamic optimization. And now the third step here was to ensure that the step 1 and 2, if done right, are actually contributing to your business impact, not just a campaign KPIs. Campaign KPIs are proxies with a little bit of benefit of doubt given to them that they lead to a business objective, but actually no proof or very little proof of that, right? It's our way of understanding how the media tools that we work with behave, and what are the different metrics that they make available for us to work with. Business objectives are always slightly deeper things like increased in ROAS, increase in the size of sale. Those are the business objectives, while campaign objectives like a CPM, CPV are essentially buying metrics. So you now have the ability to then buy for the real business impact. And the third one is our acquisition in Rockerbox, which we did about this year. It's a US-based multi-touch attribution company that allows you to now verify whether the step 1 and step 2 actually led to that business impact. That's the journey we are on. Little bit about the survey. This survey was about 22,000 respondents across 21 countries. So it's a global survey with India included. Roughly around 2,000 odd advertisers telling us how they are adapting to. So the survey covers a large variety of questions, but for the presentation today, I've picked up insights only on the CTV. And it also takes into account our data of measurement. We are the global leader in verification. We work with very large global brands, so there is a lot of data that tells us consumers are central to any winning strategy. Now, when you ask the consumers how they are consuming content, 73% of them prefer watching it live or streaming it at the time of their choice. So there is a clear-cut shift that is happening, while 20% still watch it the traditional ways. They're spending about 3.5 hours per day watching content out of the leisure time. So that's a lot of consumers in India. If we talk about, we're probably looking at, by the end of next year, we'll probably be looking at 900 million odd consumers. Lot of consumers spending a lot of time, which is a great opportunity for brands because it allows you to build your brand and be in front of your audiences at the right time, in the right context, several times in a day. We asked them how do they feel about ads, and 73% of them said that they don't mind seeing ads accompanying their favorite content. So if it is a long form content that they are watching, it's not essentially an interruption for them and they don't mind seeing it. What is important for marketers to care about is 64% of them say that it helps them improve brand awareness and helps them in the shopping experience. So this is a critical takeaway, that ads next to relevant content really helps advertisers drive their communication. When asked the marketers how do they respond to it, clear-cut shift. 76% of marketers are saying that they have tried or they regularly invest in CTV. 68% of the investors, 68% of media buyers say that they are increasing their investment, and 83% of people who have not yet invested in CTV say that they plan to do it in the next 12 months or so. A very clear call out of CTV performing well for brand marketers is that they say 91% of marketers are saying that CTV environment ads outperform campaign baselines. So clearly the medium is working for consumers, it is also working for advertisers. But in all of this, there are still challenges. There are challenges like lack of transparency, there are challenges of viewability issues and fraud. And with any increasing investment plays, just like investment increases, the fraudulent activities around it also increases, because that is the best place to siphon off monies, right? If we want to unlock the overall potential of CTV, these challenges need to be addressed, and that requires the entire industry to come together and come in and solve for it, because this is advertisers' hard-earned money that they are putting onto the platforms, and platforms need to enable to ensure that all of these challenges are addressed. Let's deep dive into them. Transparency, I think those who saw programmatic coming into India, probably 2015-16 becoming mainstream and started becoming the conversations of every day, saw that transparency is non-negotiable. And 71% of Indian marketers expressed concerns that whether their ads were placed on the appropriate content or not. For example, a new show is coming up, it is a reality show, and I go in and buy ad inventory on that reality show. I'm not sure whether it is all being delivered on that show. And maybe app level transparency reports help you do that. The placement reports on where your ads have been placed is something that the publishers would need to then start making it available for the advertisers so that they can see and say it with confidence that the ads are being shown on the content that they are buying. 75% of the Indian advertisers say that they do not have a problem with the rising CPMs on CPV or on CTV. They are actually paying a premium to be on CTV. They say they don't mind it, but app level transparency on content is extremely important for them to justify that cost. Industry is making strides towards it. What we are also seeing is that from 2022 second half till about 25, there has been a 100% increase in the app level transparency, and it has led to a 57% improvement on measured ads. So clearly industry is making strides towards that, but there is still room for us to do more. Coming to viewability, the ask is simple. When I'm showing an ad, it has to be fully on screen, and when the TV is on. About 3 years ago, 1/3 of CTV impressions that we were measuring were being served when the TV was off. And it still happens. I don't know how many of you have noticed it, but try putting your TV off, and when you put it back on after 3 hours, the event or whatever you were watching is still playing, and so there are impressions being served there, and that is media wastage. What advertisers want is a clear-cut explanation of whether the TV is, when the TV goes off, is the app pausing or not, and where their ads were being served, were there people watching it or not. 60% of them say that it's very hard to tell whether the ads reach the real viewers. Again, like app transparency, we have seen improvement happening in CTV viewability as well. From July last year to December, it came down. So I was talking about 1/3 of the ads being served when TV was off. It came down to about 11%. That issue has now come down to 3%. So more and more publishers are realizing that this is a challenge which is not letting them unleash the overall potential. They're creating great content, but if you're not able to monetize it, it does not help. And they also acknowledge the fact that to monetize it, what we need to do is ensure that viewability is tracked on it. It's still work in progress. In a lot of live events, you're still not able to capture viewability, but at least in most part of it, which is not live, you're able to capture viewability. And the biggest concern for any advertiser is the fraud, which is a major source of media waste. What we measured and identified as 65% of all fraud on CTV was bot fraud. There are over 4 million infected devices with bot generating a lot of traffic, and you stand to lose about $7.5 million every, just from one bot, on every 1,000 impressions, a billion impressions that are being served. So that's a lot of media wastage that's happening. In Q4 24 itself, we identified 12 new bot variants, including Viper bot, Cyclone bot, and Beat Sting. And our internal data verifies the story that fraudsters are chasing this ecosystem. Fraudsters are coming in with a lot of intensity because we're seeing a 55% increase on filter rate and a 110% on fraud and SIV filter out rate. So that is telling you that fraud is also increasing, and you need to put measures in place in order to filter that inventory out, because that money that is going to frauds, it's not helping anyone. So how do we clear the path to performance? When asked the advertisers, and when you put them in the buckets according to their responses, what they said is 51% of them say that it's a must-have for them to have improved audience targeting and verification. 43% of them said they want content-level transparency, and close to 40% of them said that we want a consistent measurement system across CTV platforms. Because the high cost of not doing anything is too high. $700,000 is what you stand to lose per billion impressions if your inventory that you're buying is served to a fraudulent, non-brand safe or unsuitable content in a geography out of your choice and non-viewable content. That's the cost of not doing anything. Final key takeaways before I sum it off. Transparency is table stakes. What you can do is use a tag that works on all devices, like a DB Omni tag. Measure everywhere and then validate what you're measuring, whether it is working for you, for your business objectives or not. Viewability, what you can do as advertisers, as agencies, is ask your publishers upfront whether the app goes off or it pauses when the television screen is off. Request publishers to provide that information through bundle IDs so that viewability can be measured. And fraud, using a combination of pre-bid and post-bid services that filter out any fraudulent inventory, and also then combining the post-bid services to then keep on doing video filtering, is something that allows you to keep fraud out of your supply path. These are the key takeaways. In case you want to know more about it beyond CTV as well, I would request you to please scan this QR code. You will get the full report of 2024 of DoubleVerify Global Insights report, which has various cuts on data points across CTV and other ecosystem. With that, thank you so much, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Samir.